What is up, everybody? This is the Texas Roadrunner, Miss Princess Xena, and we're out walking a certain rail line. This line in particular is really special because this is the original rail line first built by ANR, Angelina Neches River Railroad. And this, up until now, this is the first time I've got to explore it. We've already been up and down the line, and I want to say, so if I remember correctly, ANR started sometime between 1880 and, no, I take that back, 1886 to 1900, because somewhere around there. I'm sorry, I'm very tired. But anyways, they started up around that time, and the original line, you gotta understand, the UP line that comes through here, which used to be Southern Pacific's, was started by a company called Houston East and West Texas Railroad, which later on became part of Texas and New Orleans Railroad, which was a subsidiary of Southern Pacific Railroad. A lot of railroads there. And the other one was the precursor to the Cotton Belt, which was St. Louis Southwestern, which is St. Louis Southwestern Railroad, which is now part of UP as well. So my point is, when ANR was built, they built this line between the two rail companies to deal with the customers along the line, because there used to be a lot of industrial customers out here. Like right over there is, I believe that over there where I was just pointing out was the old steel mill. I don't know much about it, other than I think GP owns it now. The rail line, the section I'm walking on, is actually abandoned. I think they use it for storage, like they do over here. But anyways, my guessing is things were going good until possibly either in the 80s or the 90s. Of course, in the 80s, they were trying to buy the whole section of track between here and all the way up to Jacksonville from the Cotton Belt. And Southern Pacific, who owned Cotton Belt at the time, didn't want to sell. They were going to, but they backed out of it for some weird reason and only sold them a small portion between here to Clawson Central area. There's another abandoned industrial spur. I don't know where that one goes. I think that goes like right up over there somewhere, but I'm not sure. Kind of hard to tell with these trees and shit in the way, but that should tell you how long it's been abandoned. But I'm guessing that they haven't used this as a main line since at least, I want to say the 80s, late 80s. And I say that because in the 90s, when SP got bought and merged with UP, I want to say, and they probably did this beforehand with SP, but ANR ended up gaining 3 miles of trackage rights, which is basically the whole section from North Lufkin down to Southern Lufkin. And so that's now, quote unquote, their main line. And they don't use this portion as a main line anymore because they have no reason to. There's not really any customers over here anymore. You know, so what track is left is either abandoned or used for storage. Now, the main reason why I wanted to explore this, outside of the historical parts of it, I wanted to see if there was anybody, any abandoned home bum camps. Come on, mama. Hurry up. Come on. I wanted to see if there's any abandoned home bum camps, because usually a lot of times homeless people like to camp out near the rail tracks and shit, especially in the big cities. And I was expecting the same thing here, but I haven't seen any abandoned homeless camps. The only other interesting thing I found is Kelties, which is the community we technically live in, which is now part of Lufkin. I found their old cemetery right off in the woods, and I might do a future video of that. But to access it, you gotta climb over the train, and there's a trail that leads up to it. You could be on that trail and you can go up to the cemetery. But of course, ANR's fucking train is about a mile long, maybe a half mile, and it blocks the trail. So I'm gonna do a future video of that. Probably in about a video or two, I'll do that. But yeah, I wanted to see if there's anybody camped out here, and I was hoping there might have been like an abandoned homeless camp or something. You know, I always find the best shit ever. But I haven't found a camp, so that sucks. I also came out here because I wanted to make sure, I wanted to see if there was any good places to camp out at in case something happened where I couldn't be at the house anymore. I would have a new area to come to, because it doesn't really look like anybody even comes out here except for the employees, and even then, it doesn't look like this train's been moved in a while. And I say that because down the track, there's a fucking tree that fell on the train. And the tree looks like it's been there for quite some time. So anyways, you know, that bridge would be nice to sleep under if they had areas to do so. But yeah, it's just grainers for as long as you can see. It's really weird. Kind of reminds me of being out on the East Coast sometimes. It's been years since I've done that. Yeah, this would be a really nice spot to sleep at. That portion's actually a little good. The only problem is, looks like there's birds living over there with all their crap. And it looks like water runs down it too. Xena, come on. And then this bridge part over here doesn't even have anything to fucking sleep under. Excuse my language. Still trying to cut down on the swearing, because I know kids watch my videos now. That kind of sucks. I'm supposed to be expecting Crazy Cooter to come out here. I think he's supposed to be out here sometime between Monday and Wednesday of next week. And he'll stay at my house for a few days, and then I'll head out with him for a couple weeks, go ride a train. He wants to go out to a certain state. I'm not going to say which one, because I don't know if he likes me even talking about this. But he wants to go see his granddaughter, who he hasn't even seen yet. See, you know, he's usually out here on the road. You can see where this track ends right there. And so we'll head over to a certain state she lives in. We'll go visit with his daughter and his granddaughter, and then he'll head to wherever he's going, and then I'll head back out here. We've had a lot of rain out here, and this really isn't